Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the Ammo Nerd. We have an ammunition review today in 300 Blackout. This is 115 grain jacketed hollow point from Sierra, not to be confused with a standard 9mm 115 grain jacketed hollow point. When there was some online discussion about this load, I was slightly confused and thought everyone was talking about 9mm, but no, they're talking about 300 Blackout. This is from AAC. Now, in full transparency, AAC sent this ammunition over for me to review with no strings attached. Let's throw this guy on the table and talk about what we're going to do today. For our 300 Blackout testing, we have 3 barrel lengths afforded to us, a 7.5 inch, 10.5 inch, and 16. After we've collected our velocity figures and a general liability, you know, AAC is producing their own brass, so it's a fairly new line, so we're looking for any type of cracked necks or separated necks or anything, or separated cases. And I haven't had any of that so far in the couple thousand rounds of the various AAC that we've put through it. But after we've done that, we're going to step out to 100 yards to see what kind of practical accuracy we can get from this. And because of the success of our 110 grain VMAX and our 110 grain TAC XT, we're going to throw this in our ballistics gel to see how it would stack up in terms of a personal protection self-defense round. We have our Pro Conopal Digital DLX, as always, along with our Garmin Zero C1 from Cabela's. We start all of our reviews off with our shortest barrel length. This is our 7.5 inch. This is a PSA build. Primarily, most of my ARs are from PSA, mainly because they are budget oriented, and I can pick up that wide variety without too much of an issue. I will say this appears to be very, very flashy in terms of muzzle flash, at least on this overcast day. Now on to our 10.5 inch, as I mentioned, another Palmetto State Armory build. Nice, got lock back there. Less muzzle flash detected, none if at all on this 10.5 inch. Might as well grab a string suppressed. We've got our Yankee Hill R9 up front. Nice. And finally, our longest barrel length. This is our 16 inch from PSA. Oh, got to jam there, mate. Last round. That one saw a little better days there. Not sure that happened. I do believe I have an H2 buffer in here. That might be a little on the heavy side for this super round. Here is our 115 grain JHP at 100 yards from the 16 inch JK armament rifle kit and a lead sled with only a 6-power SIG LVPO. Our first group 1.587 inches. Not going to complain about that whatsoever. And then we even tightened it up on the second group, which came immediately after, 1.179 inches. All right, time to see what this 115 grain JHP will do in gel. We have our 6x6x16 clear ballistics gel block down there, the 10% variant. Now there's a lot of online discussion about the validity of our clear ballistics gel versus organic. You never really should compare those two different mediums together. A lot of the times with our clear ballistics gel, we're gonna get more penetration for most of these rounds because we're gonna see a little less expansion, at least from what we've read online. We have our 7.5 inch first, then we'll go to the 10.5 inch, and then 16. 2047. 2136. One thing for sure is the amount of muzzle energy our rifle calibers can impart on our ballistics gel, and then the surrounding areas. It keeps bending this thick piece of stainless steel. We'll start with our 16 inch since the block is flipped that way. We have what looks to be about an inch neck, maybe if that. There is our 16 inch right here in the middle. We exceed the 16 inches of the block, but our bullet was actually laying on our table right there, so it didn't go much past 16. Let's get a top-down shot. You can see, maybe, right there is our 16. We have quite a bit of fragmentation occurring in those first few inches. It's always debated whether or not that is beneficial unless it gets out past the 7 or 8 inch mark, but there is some shedding of that bullet material through the wound path. It calms down right around the 10 to 11 inch mark. You can see right there, and it is actually curving this way. This will be the easiest to see because this is the 7.5 inch. We got about 1.5 inch neck. You can see our little bullet fragments leaving fairly early on. We have a little bit more in the 7 inch mark. You can see that bullet is still upsetting tissue, and then it calms down right around the 9 inch mark, and all the way out to right around the 17.5 inch mark is the 7.5 inch. The 10.5 inch you can see right behind there is right at about 19 inches. So I would say this is a pretty good self-defense, home defense, personal protection load. If you're looking for maximum weight retention, this may not be it because we are shedding some of those fragments as it carries on, but it's going to meet the maximum ideal penetration. Again, in organic gel, we may see less. Very, very impressive expansion from this 115 grain. We'll get some retained weight and maximum expanded diameter on those, but very, very nice Sierra with that 115 grain JHP. I'd buy that for $1. Well, folks, I don't think I have anything negative to say about this load from AAC. This 115 grain jacketed hollow point seemed to do very well in all of our criteria. We had good velocity, we had good function, although we were getting a little couple of failures to feed towards the end in our 16 inch, and that might be because I have a H2 buffer in that gun. We had good accuracy out of this load at 100 yards. Typically, I haven't done too well with our 300 Blackout, so it's good to see that we have an accurate load. And as far as our gel results go, we had right what I would consider our ideal personal protection, home defense, self-defense load. We have that 18 to 21 inches of max penetration. We had expansion, some good terminal effect through that wound channel. It may be a tough call to pick what you want between our other 110 to 120 grain flavors of 300 Blackout. You know, we've got the Barnes TSX as well as the VMAX or SST load. So whatever probably shoots the best in your gun and gives you the best accuracy and function may be ideal for you. Although that being said, I'm gonna get the heck out of here because I hear it raining and I don't want to get all my stuff wet like last time. But at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who helped make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number one is my family. Deacon came out here to do some shooting with me today, so any time that I can spend with him is greatly appreciated. Number two are my Patreon, Subscribe Star, and YouTube channel memberships. That's where a lot of my funds come from to buy gel blocks and things. I have a campsite in the description below. It's got discount codes or affiliate tracking links. In full transparency, I have one at PSA and it earns me a sales commission. I don't know of any magic minimum number that I have to meet to continue to get stuff from AAC, but I do the best I can. And if you're looking at making this purchase, I don't want to push you that way, but if you're going to make this purchase and you want to say thank you to the channel, that's a way to do it. Number three are the fine folks over at AAC JHP in Palmetto State Armory. Again, in full transparency, sent over that 300 Blackout for me to demo with no strings attached. And of course, number four is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.